Hello and welcome back to Fat Code. We are building a PWA using React Redux and React Router. Tonight we're working on creating a user-restricted route from React Router using Redux. So in other words, what I want is to be able to use a route tag that will fetch the current user state from Redux and decide if, based on that, if the user should be allowed through to the route or if it should go to a fallback. So my steps to do this are to create this auth route component, and there's a couple of requirements around that. It needs a selector for the Redux state and the logic to support what I was just talking about. And we need a generic fallback after that, and we'll see how it implements. So let's get started. We're going to add a file to my components shared. Yes. I think it's authentication, really. I think it should be called authenticated route. Yes. Oh, and let me mention now, I'm not in any way saying that this is a security measure. This is purely for the sake of making the UI function as well as it can in every situation. Security really has to be handled on an API. I mean, you certainly don't need, you can make security mistakes up front, but you can make an app less secure on the front end, but the only way to truly secure it is through the back end. So this is not about security whatsoever. This is just about making the app function as well as possible. So that being said, this is not security advice. Okay, point made. All right, so let's get our imports here. Let's start there. All right, I need, what is that going to be called? Route. Okay. Do I need anything else? Not right now. No. Alright, I am going to set the properties. I'm not just going to pass them through automatically. So let's enumerate those. First, which is, of course, for the React Router DOM route, which we're going to be using. 2 component. So this will be the component that should render if there is a user. I'm torn about whether to include a fallback or not here. Would there be a good reason to use another, to be able to specify a fallback? I'm going to say no for now. I can make it more complicated later. to and component. Okay, great. Which means I need a fallback. I'm going to stub one out here. Oh, whoops. Always in capitals. Equals. Okay. Alright, let's put a link in here to make it as just as fancy as we can. Let's do this. Now I'm seeing what I want this to look like. Okay, so we got an empty container there, and we are not going to leave that as a P. Let's go with an H3. Okay. I don't know why I care so much about this right now, but there. Let's do this. Son of a gun. Okay. I guess I'm going to do this. Alright, let me close this. Cool. Yes. Great. Okay. So now we have a fallback component that advises these people they need to go back and log in, because the only reason they would be here, I suppose, would be as if they weren't authenticated. And the only way they wouldn't be authenticated is if they weren't logged in. Okay, great. Next. Routes, okay. Alright, I need some actions here. Okay, so we need to pull in the selector from Redux. Okay, so the way that we're going to know if there's a user or not is through our app state, and we'll be accessing that using use dispatch from react-redux. Great. Oh, well, it'd be even greater if I spelled it right. Okay. Alright. So now what we're going to do is, oh, whoops. We got to create a local dispatch by invoking this. Great. Oh. Shit. I'm wrong. Let's use selector. Use selector. This is how we get slices of the state. Okay. I have seen people, and I do see. I was looking at libraries code, LBRY, and they have a whole library of just reducers, which I think is awesome, and I probably should do that. But they abstract them away a step further. But they're using TypeScript, and so I feel like, at least right now, is I don't want to have to create yet another layer of TypeScript typings, and I really do like to know the types that are coming out of my selector, because I can do really neat things and keep up. I can keep up with what's coming out better. So, at any rate, I do really like the idea of having all the Redux in another project, and I should really do that. I don't know why I haven't done that yet. Let's look at that. What would that take? My actions, my reducers. Right. My actions. I don't have much in the way right now, so it would be a good time. Let's see. States. I guess states would have to go with that too. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so that'll be the next video. It's gonna be something. Anyway, okay, so we need to select our user from the state we have. I have my state represented in, oh, right, I need to import my typings. I'm not sure. Components, I think it's right above public. It's above public. Oh, that might be another project. Nope. Alright, there you go. Done. Okay. Okay. So the state that comes out of my selector is of this type, and this is my grouping for all of my different states I will have. So we are going to return that app, that user. Great. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we are going to create another value to hold which component we're going to use, the fallback or the component that's been passed in. I'll call that something more descriptive. No, because it'll be more descriptive here, but it will be kind of a head scratcher on the other side, so let's not do that. Authenticated. Okay, equals, okay, so my user and my state here, it's either there or it's null, so I can just do this. User equals null. Fallback. Well, I think component, let's look here. Yeah, component is lowercase in React router DOM, so I'm going to stick with that convention. Okay, great. So we are getting our user, and we are setting the component that we are going to use. based on the user, or whether it's null or not, at least. Okay, so let's go ahead and export that. All right, that looks good. So now what we're gonna do is jump over to app. This is where the project all comes together. So what we're going to do is we're going to change dashboard here to our authenticated route. Oh, oops, I already got it there. Yeah, this is what I need to do. Import. Okay. Great. Well, if I did all that right, we will find out momentarily. All right, looks like it just, I don't know if it just rebuilt. I'm not even going to say that. What I typically do. All right. So I usually just run the TS manually and and see that I screwed something up. Path. Not two. Whoops. Yeah, I'm surprised this worked here. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Over to Chrome. Let's clear our cache if we can. Yes, yes, I know. Yeah. Always clear the data. That's fine. Let's start there. Okay. All right, so let's hit the dashboard link, or route rather. Okay, so it did not stop me. Okay, we need to add some logging and see what is going on here. Okay, so let's start here. Okay. Okay, log. Where else can I log? I might not be able to log anywhere else. Oh, dashboard. Duh. How about that? Well, it's obviously getting there. yeah, I guess the thing I want to know is my user really should be null. So this is really what I want to know. Okay, fine. And there you go. See, I need to make that a bit bigger. That's good though. Okay. Great. You aren't authenticated. Okay, so if we click here, oh look, it took me back. So right now, if I click the submit button, that will populate my user state. And there we go. You see I'm back at dashboard, and you can see my highly intelligent message there. Okay, so when I click log out, great, it takes me back there. And I probably cannot get back to that. Look at that. Perfect. Okay. Well, that's what I had to do tonight. Now I have an authenticated route that appears to be doing everything that I need. If you have any suggestions, comments, please feel free to leave them down below, and we'll chat. Thanks a lot.